So this is my Macbeth blog. Right, so a summary of the scene. The scene starts with an introduction to the character, the porter, who is like the doorkeeper of the castle or something. And this porter is really drunk, and he talks about keeping the door and all the imaginary people he's seeing. And he compares himself to the doorkeeper of hell, and talks about how all the bad people come through the door, in a very humorous and kind of weird way. And then Lennox and Macbeth enter, and they kind of talk about the night and what had happened. And apparently, there's been a lot of screaming, and it had just been like a really tough night with a lot of ruckus and a lot of yelling, apparently. And then Macduff enters, and he announces that the King Duncan has died. And so now it becomes obvious that the screaming was probably from Duncan, and yeah. And the chamberlains were found with bloody daggers, which suggests that they killed him. And then Macbeth admits to killing the chamberlains in anger of the king's death, which I don't really think makes sense, but I don't know, because like if he like wants to say that he killed the chamberlains, why would he wait until somebody like discovers them? It seems weird that you would not say anything about that, but that's just something that I was wondering about, but I don't know. Lady Macbeth, she faints, and leaves the room, and Duncan's sons Malcolm and Donald Bane, I think that's how you pronounce it, agree to flee. One goes to Scotland and one goes to like East England or something. I don't remember. Right, so before this scene, just before this scene, Macbeth, he killed the king, and throughout the story kind of goes through a development. He goes from being just a normal thane to becoming a murderer, and then in order to eventually become king in the end. And this whole chain of events is started by the three witches and their prophecies. And throughout the story, he has this inner conflict with his moral beliefs and, like his will to become king and just everything. And in some scenes, it's more clear than others that he is kind of doubting his decisions, but in other scenes, it seems that the only thing he wants is becoming king. And when the prophecies start to play out, like when the forest moves and he kind of comes to the realization that he might not be immortal, which is a big realization for him. I have two quotes. I couldn't find a third. But yeah, I'm just gonna read it out loud now. Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time, for from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys, we own and grace is dead, the wine of life is drawn, and the mere less is left with his vault to brag of. So, this quotation is very ironic. It shows a lot of irony because the other characters in this scene think that he is kind of talking about the death of the king because he's upset about it, but in reality he's talking about murdering the king. Yeah, So now we have quote number 2, which is from the last scene or the last act. I don't think it's the last scene, but it's towards the end. And he's starting to realize that maybe this isn't going to go his way. And he's starting to realize it, like, for real. So there's no flying, hence nor tarrying here. I gently are weary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. So there's no flying, hence nor tarrying here. That's just, there's no running away or staying. He can't run away from his problems because it all stems from his actions. And he's starting to realize that. I didn't to be weary of the sun. This is a reference to him not wanting to wake up in the morning. He doesn't want to see the sun again, and he's tired of living, basically. And wish the estate of the world were now undone. He wants to see the world in chaos. He wants to he wants the world to be in this state. I don't know. I'm sorry that this is not the best vlog, but I'm really tired and I just want to go to bed. So, thank you.